I'm Bonnie Low-Kramen, your host, and I'm here with my assistant, Jennifer Wilner. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Bonnie. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah, it's Wednesday, January 12th, 2022. 2022. Can you believe it's 2022? It sounds so futuristic.
It does.
Doesn't it?
Really does.
Well, we want to welcome all of our viewers who are coming in from all over the world because, in part, well, we normally get viewers from all over the world, but today is extra special because of our very special guest, Skevi Constantinou, who is coming to us from the UK. And I'll be telling you a bit more about her in just a couple of minutes. But hopefully everybody's 2022 is off to a good start. I hear it's freezing cold up there in New Jersey, right, Jen?
Oh, it's a balmy 41 right now, but it was about 8 degrees yesterday morning.
And you got quite a bit of snow.
Oh, we got enough. We got
Yeah,
enough.
enough. Well, oh my gosh. Happy to be here in Florida. And I don't know how cold it is in the UK right now, but I'm sure Skevi will tell us. Welcome, Terry. Welcome to the show. Before I introduce our guest today, I got an interesting piece of news, Jen. I'm not sure I shared it with you earlier. You know, everybody knows when they're researching companies, considering working with them, or just trying to understand if a company is good to work with, they go to Glassdoor, right? People go to Glassdoor and they go to Indeed.com. Most every assistant knows about Indeed and Glassdoor. And I heard about a new one yesterday. Comparably is a website that I checked out, and it also gives reviews about companies and salary ranges and things like that. So I want to share that with this audience as you perhaps are looking for new work. Welcome from all over. Oh, Sandy, it's cold up there in Boston. Welcome to the show. And hi, Taryn and Sherwin. Oh my gosh, Sherwin, I'm not sure where you are these days. If you're in South Africa or in London. I know you were on the move there for a while, but welcome. Hi, Denise. So, you know, our guest today, Skevi Constantinou, we first came into each other's orbits several years ago, and she says that she was following me on social media. But, you know, in 2018, she began the PA way and started posting a lot on social media. And as you all know, I worked for an actress named Olympia Dukakis. So when I heard Skevi's name and Skevi Constantinou, her names like hers were very common in my world because I was, you know, with Olympia all the time and her relatives, and so we bonded very quickly on that basis, even though I myself am not Greek. Skevi her family is from Cyprus, which is very close to Greece. And then today I was curious about her name, the name Skevi. So I Googled it and I just was doing a little searching around. And it turns out that her name, one of the meanings of her name, is glamorous leader.
I love it.
How appropriate is that, Jen?
Very appropriate
for Skevi.
Yeah, very appropriate.
So we've got a lot to get to today. Skevi's had such an interesting background. I want to tell you some of the facts about her. Yesterday on LinkedIn, she posted other things about her having trained as a chef and lots of interesting facts. The people of this profession are just endlessly interesting. Don't you think, Jen?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
we learned lots of cool things about.
Yeah. And I mean, you shared, you know, your former career.
The dog bakery, dog barkery.
The barkery.
Right, the barkery, my first entrepreneurial experiment.
I mean, that's super interesting. So, welcome to Harriet and Elizabeth and Marion. Welcome to the show. Okay, so let me tell you about our guest today, Skevi Constantinou, who is who is kind of late in her day out there over there across the pond in the UK. Skevi is a former assistant, and that's in large part why she knows so much about this profession. And she is deeply committed as an advocate and an activist for this role. I love in her official bio that she says that she aims to take assistants out of their executive shadow and to own their own light, but equally maintain a powerhouse professional dynamic with the people they support. Oh yeah. And in 2018, the story goes that she dreamed it up, that she woke up with this idea about this organization she wanted to create called the PA Way. And she's going to tell us all more about it today. It launched in 2018, and wow, has it been going gangbusters ever since. She has a mission with the organization, and we share this mission is to make sure in every way we can that assistants know that they are valued, nurtured, and listened to. She does this by staging in-person and virtual events for professional development. She has really cool initiatives going. She's got her Loyal Royals, and she's got this big event coming up in March that she's going to tell us about. Skevi's been an international speaker. She's now spoken at several major events, including keynoting at the PA show in London, which is super prestigious. She is determined to find so many ways to advocate for executive and personal assistants all over the world so that they are truly celebrated, recognized, and rewarded. And in turn, she herself, Skevi Constantinou, has been celebrated and rewarded and awarded with many different awards in these last few years. So she is really taking off. And can we please welcome Skevi Constantinou? There she is in the flesh. Thank you, Jen. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. What an introduction.
Wow. Well, and then we realized that we haven't actually met in person.
Yeah.
How do you feel about glamorous leader, according to Google?
That must be a technical error. Definitely.
Well, you've got your fans in the audience today. Kay Lundy's here, and Elizabeth was so excited to hear you. Laura Belgrado from Brussels. So let's just get to it, Skevi, and our audience should know that in typical Heads Together form, I'm going to ask Skevi a few questions and then leave time for your questions and your comments, which Jen is going to moderate from backstage. So just know that Skevi's game for answering your questions, right, Skevi?
Yes, 100%.
There you go. All right. So a few rapid fire questions that the answers I don't think all of them appeared on LinkedIn yesterday when you decided to share some fun facts about yourself. But now I know that you're into grunge music.
Oh, yeah.
So if I asked you who you would choose to see, Elton John or the Beatles?
Ooh, do you know what? They're both amazing in their own right, but I think for me it would probably be Elton John.
The Sir Elton John, right?
Yeah, sorry.
What was your favorite toy as a child?
Hungry Hippos. You know the game with the hippos where you have to click them to get as many balls out of the middle. It's called Hungry Hippos. Yeah.
Did you win? Were you good at it?
No.
No. So now that we know that you have a background as a chef, what's your favorite dessert?
Ooh, favorite dessert? I would probably say cookie dough. Just like cookie dough ice cream, anything with cookie dough or salted caramel. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Do you make your own? I mean, is that or not really?
I didn't get this shape by eating celery. Yeah. So yeah, I make my own. It helps that I trained as a chef as well.
Yeah, yes, that is, I envy that skill because not everybody has that. And is it a labor of love? Do you do it just for fun?
What, the cookie dough or the
No,
cooking in
just
general?
cooking.
To be honest, because I trained in French cooking for 4 years, so I'm trained in French cuisine. Now it's just I cook to survive, whereas before it was I will take 3 hours to make a souffle, and it's going to be amazing. Whereas now it's like, oh, okay, I'll stick some chicken in the oven and some veg, and it's done.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's interesting. So if you could only have one book on a desert island, what would it be?
For me personally, I would take the Bible. That's for me. Yeah.
Yes, I know you say very often that you're a spiritual person.
Yeah.
What's a favorite app on your phone?
The PAY app.
What's your second favorite app?
Second favorite app, probably I have like the Cineworld, the cinemas over here, because I tend to go cinema a lot, so I'm always seeing what films have come out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's another thing we have in common. Movies. Favorite movie?
My favorite movie, interestingly, is The Crow. I don't know if you remember it, from 1994 with Brandon Lee, who unfortunately lost his life.
Okay.
That's my favorite film of all time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Favorite beverage?
Cranberry juice. Yeah.
Last thing you binged watched?
The Big Bang Theory again, just because I have a weird crush on Sheldon.
I think somebody needs to figure out how you can meet him.
Yeah.
And then last question here. Now there's lots out on LinkedIn about you. What's still one more thing about you that isn't generally known?
I'd probably say that I'm a really old soul. So when I posted on LinkedIn the other day that although I love grunge and heavy metal, I'm a huge Neil Sedaka fan. I had so many people messaging me saying, how do you even know Neil Sedaka? You're a millennial. But I actually listen to a lot of music like the Ronettes, Paul Anka, Elvis, his early days. So I'm quite an old soul, and I love classic films as well, from like the bygone era of the 1940s, 1950s.
Yeah. Well, I gave myself a project during the pandemic that I thought was going to happen like 20 years from now, but the pandemic kind of accelerated the schedule. I printed out every Oscar winner from the beginning of the Oscars, and I gave myself the project of watching the winners.
Wow, that's so cool. That's awesome.
So and then I figure if I ever run out of the winners, I could always go to the nominees. But anyone on this call is welcome to use that idea. But so that's very cool. Skevi, you've had an amazing career journey, and it feels like you're still towards the beginning. Tell us some of the defining moments that have brought you to this moment as the leader of the PA way and a role model for assistants all over the world, many of whom are in the audience today. Talk to us. Tell us how you got here.
Wow, I got here because, as you very kindly said in the introduction, I wasn't planning to be here as such, but the universe had a different plan. And so in February 2018, I woke up and I had seen this really exciting platform in my dream. And I was like, wow, oh my God, what was that? And I was like, the PA way, what is it? So I quickly opened my laptop in my dressing gown and I Googled the PA way, and it said not found and it didn't exist. And then as I was typing to try another keyword, I went, oh my gosh, I saw the whole thing in my dream. I have to create it. So I quickly opened a journal, which I still have here, and I wrote down, I think, 4 or 5 bullet points of what I'd seen in the dream. And then as I was still working as a full-time executive assistant, I was doing like 40 hours a week, I just built the components that I'd seen in the dream. and then spent hours on YouTube, just teaching myself how to build a website, how to use MailChimp, all the techie things, whilst working a full-time job. So that was one of the main catalysts as to why I got here. Being bullied as well has been a driving force, because once I started creating the PA Way, I started getting bullied by management and other people, because apparently you cannot be an assistant and have any interests elsewhere. And I was labeled, they told me in a meeting, you are just an assistant with a pipe dream, and no one cares about your profession. So for me, that was more of a driving force to keep pushing forward with the PA Way, because I care about assistants a lot. And I want to make sure that our profession obtains the respect that they deserve. We are not just assistants. We are not just anything. We are more than our roles. And so that was a big driving force. And then finally, I would say my mindset, my self-belief for the profession. If you love something so much, it's a driving force to push you forward, because it's not work. It's seeing people happy and bringing together this brilliant community that we are so blessed with across the world. I'm very proud of our profession. Makes me, it's an absolute honor to be connected with so many people.
So how many assistants are part of the PA Way?
Well, I only opened Loyal Royal pandemic global doors in the pandemic, so we're now about 12 countries, 15 countries, I think, but I only opened doors to global membership last year. But members, I have to go back into my spreadsheet to check. But excitingly, there's a big movement happening with people joining all over the world. So yeah, we're in big numbers. Yeah.
So have there been some surprising things that have happened regarding your members from PA Way, from that dream you had to what is actually happening with your members? You say you're so proud of them. Tell us a thing or two that's happened with them.
Yeah, so to be honest, I'm proud of everyone in our profession, regardless of their role and whether they're part of the PA Way or whether they're part of different networks. Because for me, it's all about leveling up. So whatever an assistant or business support professional is a part of, together that encourages my mantra of like leveling up and being one squad. So I'd say some of the greatest success stories for Loyal Royals of the PA Way is one, the unbelievable online community that we have created, especially because I created the first app for the profession, so assistants can talk real time to each other in the app. Seeing friendships formed. I wrote a program in the PA Way called the Royal Responsibility Partner Program, and every 3 months doors open where you can enroll, and I will buddy you up with an accountability partner, someone that you may have never met. And for 3 months, you have to keep each other accountable for your goals. And friendships blossom. People end up slaying their goals. They're doing so well. And as a result now, I've seen Loyal Royals from Pennsylvania and London now meeting each other for the first time when they come to the UK in March for the PA Way Awards. I've seen assistants have such an increase in confidence that they demanded pay rises, promotions. They rewrote their resume. Oh, it's just unapologetically confident, fierce, but real people with real lives. As cheesy as that sounds, it's real people with real lives making a difference for themselves and that profession.
Well, it's been so fun on LinkedIn to see people posting their pictures with the Willy Wonka the signs. And tell us about these awards that are happening in March.
So I wanted to do an awards to celebrate our brilliant profession, but Bonnie, I'm a very creative individual, and I don't do generic at the PA Way. So I'm absolutely obsessed with Roald Dahl and Walt Disney. So what I wanted to do was blend my world meets Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So it's the PA Way and the Golden Ticket Awards. I have done storytelling from the very first email that they get all the way throughout, and it will continue at the awards ceremony. So people entered for 12 or 13 different categories. And the way that they found out was I made Wonka bars with the golden ticket inside and a letter that I wrote entirely myself. And I put them in a purple parcel and sent them all across the world. And so people got these golden tickets posting, and now they will bring those tickets to the UK to get entry to Level Up Land, which is my secret and magical place that I'm creating for the awards.
Oh man, I want to come to this thing. This is so cool.
Oh, Bonnie, you don't even need a ticket. You can just come.
Well, thank you. And then you have something else happening at the Four Seasons in Cyprus. What's going on? And in my head, I'm thinking this woman never sleeps. Like,
yeah. Sleep. As much as I do try to sleep, because I have such a creative brain, I'll end up waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning to write ideas down. I mean, this is exactly why the PA way came to me in a dream, you know. But 2 years ago, we were meant to go on a familiarization trip to Cyprus because I wanted to take people to the motherland and to experience Greek hospitality, or philoxenia, as we say. And we've teamed up with the Four Seasons Hotel in Cyprus, so a very special hotel on the island. And 10 assistants are going to go and experience the hotel. And it's called the PA Way Vacay. So yeah, it's going to be a 4-day retreat. I will be doing workshops and training. And then they also get to go to see historical ruins. They get to go to tavernas. It's going to be fun. Fingers crossed.
oh my gosh, it sounds incredible. So these last 2 years with the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
did anything happen that was surprising to you during that time? Clearly you opened it up to a global membership PA way. But what are you seeing from members? And given all the uncertainty that happened during the pandemic, it seems to me that probably the organization served as a real place of comfort for your members. Can you talk about the last 2 years and what that's been like?
Yeah. So when lockdown first happened, I had so many in-person events booked for assistants here in the UK, especially. So I took everything online, and then I was trying to do social events online. So we did like a paint party, we did like a spa evening, we did all sorts of cool stuff. But for me, it just once again reinforced why I love this profession so much, because assistants went from serving at such a high level to literally putting on their crowns and stepping up even more to ensure that these offices and these organizations had to adapt to work from home. And a lot of that had to rely on the assistants who had never had, for example, contingency plans or crisis meetings, were stepping as leaders and guiding their executives and their colleagues and saying, look, follow me. I've got this. I have a plan in place. This is what you're going to do. And I told them to start writing this down for their performance reviews when it comes to it, because it's all too often that they will forget, with respect, that the assistant stepped up during this really difficult time. So I said to them, start writing down everything that you are doing that wasn't the norm, so that you can use it in your performance review. And a lot of them did, and they actually got pay rises as a result. A few of my loyal royals got promotions as a result, because they really stepped more into their leadership role. And for me, an assistant is already a leader anyway. But at this point, it was almost like they were the CEO guiding the CEO, you know? So for me, I was so proud of our profession for that. Seeing the online community come and support each other, because respectfully, a lot of mental health issues were on the rise because of isolating and not being able to meet with people. So they rallied around each other, and I've never seen anything like that before in my own working life. So to see someone in the UK say to someone in the States, it's okay, you know, you can ring me, we can Zoom, you know, I have a few hours out and I'll help you, really showed me the assistanthood of our profession. We're so supportive of each other. So they were the low points that ended up being super positive for me. And I really believe in trusting the process as well. And the biggest risk of all was that I decided to open global membership during the pandemic. And I would say it was the best thing I've ever done. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, so here we are in 2022, right? And as you look ahead, and obviously you're hearing from your members all the time, as you look ahead, what are you excited about and what are you concerned about as we start creating this new thing in the workplace?
So as a small child growing up in a very Greek Cypriot household, we were encouraged by my aunties, my grandmothers, all these very loud Greek women that I grew up with, like the film My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I was encouraged to worry about worrying. So as a child, I had the worst anxiety, because they put this sense of impending doom, because Greeks worry a lot and they have worry beads as well. The men in the cafes that have worry beads. So I think culturally I worry all the time about everyone and everything and just making sure, is that person okay? Is that person okay?
Yeah.
But from a business perspective, I don't worry because I trust the process. I believe in trusting that voice, trusting the universe, leaving everything unto the universe. What will be, will be. And I've got to that mindset of, I'll worry about it if it happens, because I have this anxiety. I used to have this anxiety and I'm still getting over it, where I worry about things that haven't happened. And I read somewhere online that if you worry about the things that haven't happened and stress about the things that haven't happened, you're putting yourself through the duress twice, because if it does happen. And when I read that, I was like, what are you doing, Skevi? You're worrying about things that haven't even happened. Worry about it when it does. So they're the things that I don't worry a lot, because I leave that to my aunties to tell me about the impending doom, the shortage of halloumi. But what excites me is our profession. That's what excites me the most. Seeing assistants supporting each other, seeing them being enrolling on training because their organizations have paid for it. That's what makes me happy, because that shows me the results of all the leaders in our profession, our community, pushing forward for the greater good. And when one of us wins, we all win. We're all collectively a voice together. So we all level up together. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah. So Jen, can you put up Erin's question? Erin is asking, how do you manage the differences in the profession across countries, Skevi? Are you able to help assistants identify what is advice that is specific to a country or a region now that you're international?
Yeah, thank you for your question, Erin. I hope you're okay. So because I have members now in different countries, what we'll do is we'll get on a Zoom call and I'll try to work out the pain points of what is causing the concern for that individual. And then from there, I'll go away and make a few notes and try to do some research so that I can really support that loyal royal, because what is something for someone in the UK might not be something in their country. But to be honest, the pain points that I find seem to be quite universal. So it helps just having a sounding board. But I do try to support them as best as I can. And if I can't, then I direct them to the people who perhaps they should be having those conversations with in their organization to support them as well, or resources as well.
Yeah. I would have to echo that idea that it's interesting to observe in the conversations that I have with assistants all over the world that the issues do tend to be universal. Yeah. Certainly there are, in the Middle East, there are, very keen differences culturally. So, that's fortunately that social media enables us to pretty quickly gather people from that part of the world, if that's what you need. Erin is saying thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
Jen, Sherwin has a question, a comment. If you had one piece of advice for assistants wanting to move up in their career, but they are scared of the unknown, what would it be?
I'd say do it anyway, because the worst that can happen is that they will say no, and you'll still be where you were if you didn't ask. So try it anyway. Push those comfort zones, especially you, Sherwin, because you're such an amazing colleague to have in the profession. So push that comfort zone, because the reason I'm saying this is imagine that if I didn't take any action with the dream. Imagine if I just said, oh, I saw that dream, I'm going to have some cereal and watch TV. Yeah. So imagine if I just completely dismiss that. So what I'm saying is push your comfort zone, because true magic happens when you change the status quo, when you challenge yourself, when you make yourself level up, you bring things into your orbit that you didn't know that you had. So I would run with it. Fear of the unknown, everything that you want is on the other side of fear. So go push forward, and I wish you all the success going forward.
So how can our viewers join the PA Way?
So they can go on the website, so the paway.co.uk. Doors are still open, and we're running a special offer. If anyone purchases annual membership and pays in full, they will be sent the PA Way portfolio, which is limited edition, which is worth $27.99. But yeah, they can find out there, and obviously all over LinkedIn, where many loyal royals share their success stories as well.
Jen just put up the link in the chat if you're interested in checking out the website and all the exciting things that that Skevi has dreamed up. I mean, I can't even imagine what you're going to dream up next. It's 100% recommend joining the PA Way.
Thank you.
The world has gotten so small in these last years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That the people on this call, we are thousands of miles apart, but yet we are one. And we have such an opportunity right now in 2022 as we're building new systems in the workplace. So it's so important to come together and share information in places like this on Heads Together at the PA Way. So curious to know what are some of the books on your bookshelf, and what leaders inspire you, Skevi?
That's an interesting question. Well, I used to be an avid reader, and then I entered the world of being an online digital creator. So to be honest, I haven't had that much time to read. Yeah. However, I am a few chapters in of a brilliant book. You may know it. It's by a lady called Bonnie, and it's about her autobiography. So I'm in the chapter of where you went for your audition. You went for an audition, and then that's when they said to you went on like a casting call or something, and then you're waiting outside a restaurant, and I think you're about to meet Olympia. I don't know if you're being sent there, but that's where I've got up to. So that's had me hooked for a long time. So I just need to schedule some time to find out what happens next.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, thank you for saying that. I know you have like 2 minutes a day to have to yourself. Another Tracy is recommending the PA Way. It's
bless her. Thank you.
So fabulous. I mean, that is such an important development since the pandemic, is the ability to come together like this. It's so important. Do you have a favorite quote, a favorite, something that's on your wall that, I suspect you still get some fear?
Well, to be honest, on my home screen on my phone is from the Corinthians in the Bible, and it says love never fails, which is 1 Corinthians 13:8. Can you see there? So it says like love never fails. So that's the quote that I have, because I feel that love is universal currency. It's instilled in us. It's evolution. We're born to love, not to hate. And yeah, that's what keeps me going. Because with darkness must come light, and light always pushes the dark out. So yeah.
That's amazing. So I know you've shared that the Four Seasons is ahead, that there's the awards in March. Is there something else that our audience should know about that stay tuned into 2023 or 2024? Is there, as we head towards wrapping up, what else would you like our audience to know, Skevi?
Well, all being well, depending on which places are safe, I will be heading out to do a roadshow in person. So it's called the Level Up Tour, and it will be hitting different cities in the UK. And all being well, I'll start making my way over to the States, and then slowly to different countries as well. So that'll probably take me a couple of years to get me out of this box room.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I think you have made an amazing progress in such a short amount of time. And that's what happens when you have a dream and the determination to make it happen. So I know that our audience and I have been inspired by you today. And I certainly hope anyone listening, if you're not already connected with Skevi on LinkedIn and connecting with her on her website, that you will do so. So as we wrap up today's show, which has been so cool to get to talk with Skevi Constantinou, coming to us from the UK, I hope that you will go to the Be the Ultimate Assistant website for free resources and the blog and the podcast, all in the effort to provide resources for this amazing profession. We have a special price on the Be the Ultimate Assistant on demand course. It is now lowered to $6.99, and that not only includes videos with me, but with the amazing Vicki Sokol-Evans with her technology training. As far as I know, every person who touches a computer needs to know what Vicki Sokol-Evans knows. So that is part of our class. But also part of our class, it was really important that we have a live component to it. So once a month, we have a live group meeting on Zoom. And the next one is this coming Tuesday, the 18th of January. So if you're considering on-demand class, please do that before Tuesday so that you can join us on Tuesday. So we have really some great shows coming up in the next few weeks. We are here every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and you just never know who's going to show up. It heads together. So, Skevi, I want to thank you so much for being here. Do you have any last thoughts? Any last something that you would like to tell our audience?
Thank you so much, Bonnie. I just want to say thank you to everybody for taking the time out to come join Bonnie and I on this talk. From me, though, it's not anything to say. It's just more thank you for being you. Thank you for being in this profession with us. If there's anything that I can do for you, please don't hesitate to reach out on LinkedIn, email me at info@thepaway.co.uk, and hopefully see you level up and become a partner of the PA Way as well. But other than that, yeah, just keep rocking. Our profession's amazing.
Yeah, and such an exciting time right now. So thank you, Skevi. Thank you, Jen, from behind the scenes. And thanks to all of you for joining us from all over the world. We will be posting the replay. Feel free to share it with others who may not have been able to join us live, but need to hear Skevi's inspiring story. Skevi Constantinou, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Take care. Bye.